Hello everyone, Theme Park Tracker here with another exciting West Coast Racers construction update over at Six Flags Magic Mountain. This entire week, the walkways to get to West Coast Racers have been closed off, and I was wondering why that was the reason since the previous week they had it open, but now, as we can see, they've been very busy down at the site. Lines have been painted, it looks like concrete was poured to make it look like sidewalks. We even have some parking lanes in front of the electrical boxes. Okay, this looks really interesting, and I was not expecting them to do any of this. The tables that were in front of the high five element have been removed, although it looks like they will return since there is space for them and there are no lines there. The gray sidewalk looking portions don't look like concrete from here, but instead gray paint. It doesn't look like the park tore up any of the asphalt that was laid earlier on in the construction process. I do like how the lines come up to the two planters they have in front of their restrooms and resembles the initial plans they had for this land based off the renderings. This would have been the perfect opportunity to add two big planters where the two gray sections are, and it would have been neat having the only way to get around this area by walking down the road portions. They could have been similar to the ones they have sitting in front of Justice League Battle for Metropolis, but looks more like an island of trees in the middle of the roadway. Anyways, I'm curious as to what they have planned for those parking spaces in front of the power boxes. The initial rendering did have some display cars sitting out in the land for guests to view, so they still may add that at the last second. I have to give Magic Mountain credit for putting in this part. The land initially looked so open with the plain black asphalt, and now we have more theming to really tie it all together, although I am concerned about the gray portions being paint and how it will hold up over time with guests walking on it. This might be the best themed area in the park once it officially opens and all the additions are added. Yes, things might have been cut, but it was based off the renderings way back in 2018. Looking at the station building, you can see them painting the top trim of the building black to match the rest of the building. The garage doors have been added and the queue is ready to go. Speaking of the queue, I noticed something very interesting the last visit to the park. I was over by the former site of Green Lantern First Flight, and of course the station and queue are still there. Well, upon further inspection I found the queue railings were missing from the attraction. You can see the holes where they used to be and some are laying around waiting to be moved out. So then I thought, did they repurpose these for the West Coast Racers queue? So I went to check and they look oddly similar to the ones that were in Green Lantern. This is actually a smart, cost-saving move by the park, if they actually are the same queue poles from Green Lantern. I just thought I'd point out this interesting observation. Moving on, we are still missing the entrance arch to the queue, which will display the ride's name in full over the silver truss poles that are also being used to hold up the shade tarps for the queue. The gift shop off to the left of the station is still under construction. It appears that it will match the same color scheme as the station itself. The go-karts, now called Pacific Speedway, seem to be opening sometime after West Coast Racers opens. There's been no word on it as of now, but they have painted the station green and gray and are repairing the concrete road the carts travel on. I wonder if we're going to get a new fleet of go-karts when this reopens. Hopefully some electrical or modern-looking gasoline-powered ones. Most likely, we'll get the same carts, but the bodies repainted and refreshed to match the area theme. Now, an update on the testing. Getting footage of the testing has been extremely difficult due to the area being closed and the attraction testing from park closing all the way until it opens, and then they stop. Most likely because the construction crews not associated with the coaster are working on other things like the station's interior and exterior theming, the gift shop, and of course the lines on the walkway. Dual train testing is happening, and honestly the anticipation to get on this thing is at an all-time high. Watching the trains both launch at the same time and travel the course together without separating is an extremely rare sight only found at a few theme parks around the world. The speed of the trains could vary from now and when it opens, but this looks to be the set speed. It about matches what was shown in the reveal video for the ride and should offer a nice, smooth, and re-rideable experience. As watching the trains complete their test runs, I noticed them hitting the launch track and the drain at a decent speed, so we might not get that much of a boost when we reach the second set of launch tracks. It feels like those are there just to make sure it gets over the two corkscrews. Either way, this coaster looks like it's going to be a blast to ride next week. Yes, next week, the park has finally announced preview dates for the attraction that will take place all the last week of December and first week of January. Members and season pass holders will be given a sneak peek of the ride on different dates, so read carefully if you plan on attending to ride this coaster. On December 21st and 22nd, members only, meaning Gold Plus, Platinum, Diamond, and Diamond Elite members, will be able to ride the attraction from 10:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. Then, on December 23rd to the 31st and January 1st to the 5th, all season pass holders and members will be allowed to ride. Season pass holders will not be allowed to ride on December 21st and 22nd, so make sure you know what pass type you have before visiting. I think this is a great time to open the attraction and a date the park was definitely aiming for. The park will be busy and everyone trying to get their last visits in for the year with all their friends and family over for the holiday. Still, it looks like they will be cutting it close as they are still finishing things up. Well, that's all for this update. Thank you so much for watching, and please comment your thoughts down below and subscribe to the channel for more updates on Southern California theme parks.